Welcome everybody, this is Heroes and Brews with Nerdy Dudes. We're your friendly neighborhood Beeroes. Kev, Ty, and tons of nerdy news has erupted on the scene. And there's
Crazy.
so much to choose from.
There's a lot of news going on.
A lot it is, but the first one we're going to talk about
Yeah.
is Todd McFarlane's Spawn reboot,
Yeah.
the movie. Now, if you've seen the 90s movie, it was very 90s.
Yeah. It was something.
It was pretty awful.
I remember being all about it.
I tried to
When it
watch it
came
on
out.
Netflix, like
What, recently?
a few months ago when it was on. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but I turned it on and I'm like, I can't watch this.
That's brutal, man.
It's
It's
costumes, like clown
The CG
villain,
work.
awful.
Yeah, the
oh
CG. It's like
my
PS1 graphics.
God, it's worse than that. It's like Atari.
It's intense. I love where the character of, I guess, Satan, they call him Malbolger.
Yeah.
When he's talking, his mouth just moves up and down, but like the words keep going. Like it's just like this constant like.
It's like when you're watching Godzilla and they convert it to English.
It's
And
brutal.
when the Japanese
It's
people
brutal.
are talking, they're like talking, but there's like I am.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But his
okay.
mouth was just like this, but there was like sentences coming out.
He just
it was
projects
insane.
through his throat.
I don't know what he's doing. I guess that's the way the devil works.
But however, it's a new time in life.
Yeah.
21st century.
Yeah.
We got some sick technology.
Yes, we do.
So Spawn could look sick. Could look awesome.
It could.
Could.
However, the budget that they have in mind, I don't know if it will coincide with how the spectacle that we think it could be based off of other superhero films. However, I don't know if they're going to market this as a superhero film from what I hear.
It's gonna be a horror film.
Based off of who's
right?
producing it, the Blumhouse?
Blumhouse, yeah.
Production company?
Because they do what? They
They do horror films.
Do they do Saw, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, they do Saw.
Yeah.
And
I think they produced that Get Out film from
yes.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I think they did, what was that other one?
I still need to see that. I want to see.
It was
Get
so
Out.
good. It wasn't one of those.
See, a lot of people were like praising it. Like
Yeah,
big
a lot of
time.
people love it. And
Yeah.
I think Jordan Peele actually has another one coming out. I don't know if it's next year or 2 years or something. And,
Yeah.
But, anyways, Spawn, you hit the nail on the head. When it came out in the 90s, I forget what it was. Was it like 90, was it 97, 98? I can't quite remember. At the time, I was all about it. And Spawn, the comic, I actually have a comic. It's Batman and Spawn together. And
That's actually pretty neat.
I believe it was illustrated by Greg Capullo, who's done he does stuff for DC.
Yeah.
I think that's who illustrated it. And Spawn to me is such a 90s comic because, like I was saying to you earlier, the 90s, a lot of that, some of the stuff coming out was it was dark, it was gritty, and that's Spawn for you.
Yeah.
I was all about it during that time because I was just I gravitated towards that really dark stuff. The story of Spawn, which I don't know if everybody's familiar with that might be watching, but basically you have a guy who is a mercenary,
Yes.
Al Simmons, and he is killed,
Goes to hell.
because of the deeds that he
Yeah.
has done, and decides to basically
He trades
sell
his
his
soul,
soul
yeah.
to the devil. He comes back as a hell spawn and basically has to follow through with the missions that the devil pushes onto him.
Yeah.
But he leaves behind a family and everything. I just remember really being into like the look of Spawn.
He looks awesome.
He's such a cool looking character. So visually, I think it could render into film. Even the 90s one, I think, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, I'm sorry. The 90s one, I thought the suit, the suit was a practical suit.
It was, yeah.
And it looked okay for the time, I think.
I just,
But the
yeah,
cape
for the
is
time.
something for, like, Spawn's cape is almost a character in itself, almost
Yes.
similar to not exactly the same, but how Doctor Strange the cape is like has its own
mind. Its
yeah.
own.
That's how Spawn's cape is,
Yeah.
and the cape in the '90s film was CG, and it didn't work very well.
See, but my thing is, like, if you look at Deadpool, right, the first one with Ryan Reynolds, that didn't have a high budget, you know. So, like, you know what? It's Deadpool's first time we're doing this.
Yeah.
Like a rated R Marvel film, like we didn't even know what kind of traction it's gonna get.
Sure.
It was low budget compared to the new movie and a lot of the other Marvel movies. Sorry, but it slayed. You know, it did a great job.
Yeah.
And this could also do the same thing. I don't know. Is it gonna be rated R? Do we know?
I believe so. Well,
Yeah. So I mean, I'm thinking Spawn. I'm thinking R. You know. I mean, I think that would be the proper route to go.
sure.
But my only gripe is I'm not for Jamie Foxx
Okay.
casted as Spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done great jobs with the Django Unchained. The movie with it's a law-abiding citizen.
Him and Gerard Butler.
Awesome in that. Like,
Yeah.
he's great comedy-wise. But as, like, Spawn, I can't see it, man. I just don't... Like, if it was, like, more of a comedic Spawn, maybe.
But I think he could do some serious
He
roles.
does. No, he does do serious roles.
Yeah.
Like, the Django Unchained was awesome, but, like, as this, like, kick-ass, demon Spawn, mercenary, I can't see Jamie Foxx doing that. Which, he might prove me wrong.
Have you seen Baby Driver?
I haven't.
It's amazing. Amazing.
I've heard
film.
it's really good.
He's in that. It may
Mimics.
change your mind
Okay.
a little bit. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
A
a lot of people are on the fence
Just
about
the
it.
way he acts, maybe it could be different, like you said, in Baby Driver. But I can't see it. I can't see Spawn in him because
Yeah.
with Spawn, like I said, he's a demon Spawn. He's kick-ass. He's brutal, you know. And I don't see that side in Jamie Foxx. Like I said, he could prove me wrong. He could totally slay this movie, and I'll give him all the credit he deserves. But I don't know. I'm not on the train.
I don't know how I feel about it. Here's, and I'm sure everybody has a lot of questions about the whole thing because there's been rumors for years and years and years now. I think from what I heard, almost a decade of Todd McFarlane wanting to release a new Spawn film,
Yeah.
reboot Spawn. On one hand, if we're, I'm gonna kind of echo the whole Jamie Foxx casting thing. Yeah, like I said, there was a lot of rumors of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Before I heard Jamie Foxx was cast, the one thing that I heard was that, and especially with Blumhouse producing the film, was that it was going to be obviously more of a horror film, and the character of Spawn was going to be compared to the character of Jaws. It was
Right.
like a thing where people would discuss, almost like Batman. You
Yeah.
know, when Batman first started out, you know, there's this figure in the night that people keep talking about, but we haven't quite seen him yet.
Yeah.
And it was going to focus on there was a Spawn HBO series that I think was in the 90s. I don't know if it was shortly after the
Not
film
sure
came out or
though.
before, but there was these two detectives, Twitch and something else, and what I heard was that it was going to mainly focus on these detectives, and the character of Spawn was just going to kind of be this shadowy figure. But then when you cast an actor like Jamie Foxx, I
That's
go,
not true.
well, I don't understand because
Why cast someone who you pay so much and who's an
Exact-
established actor
exactly,
just to be in the shadows?
exactly. So that's why I think, well, is it going in a different direction
Yeah.
now? Because if the way that I took it was the character of Spawn wasn't going to have a lot of speaking roles.
See, but for me, like what you said earlier when we were speaking about it, like if they were just to do detectives
Mhm.
and have them in the shadows, like where's the fan base for Spawn? Like there's no.
Well, that's the other point
there's
I was
no.
going to bring
Yeah,
up.
there's like you said.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no big fan base irking for a Spawn movie.
Not that I know of.
And, like, exactly.
I don't know
same
who's
with me.
really asking
But
for it.
if
but
you're gonna do a detective movie on it and have it in the shadows, like that makes me not want to see it.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't care about that. Like if I want to see a Spawn movie, I want it to be him in the forefront,
yeah,
regardless if it's Jamie Foxx, because like I said, he could kill it, and I don't know. Like
Yeah.
we'd have to see it to believe it, you know. And I've been wrong about things before in the past,
yeah.
but I I think they need to go the route of a Spawn headlining it, not in the shadows, because that's going to drive people there. Especially if there's not the fan base, there's not a big traction for this, you need to put them out there. You don't want like a detective story. Who's going to want to watch that?
Sure. I don't know. You had mentioned Deadpool and how that killed it. The first Deadpool, it was a success, obviously, at the box office. Yeah. The marketing for Deadpool was brilliant.
Yes.
If you can do the same for Spawn, maybe, like you were saying, I don't know if there's a high demand for Spawn right now. I haven't really heard much buzz. I mean, as a fan of Spawn back in the day, hearing rumors of a reboot, it had me interested. Yes. I don't think I was just like, oh my god, please, 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 I need this right now. It has me interested for sure. But I think if you get a a familiar face such as Jamie Foxx, I don't think I wouldn't think you're gonna have this character, kind of just passing by. Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna have somebody as popular as him, because I'm assuming you're casting somebody as him, as a popular actor such as Jamie Foxx, an A-list actor, to lead a film. If you're just gonna hide him in the shadows and make the main focus these two detectives that are tracking down Spawn, or trying to figure out whether Spawn is real, or Tom McFarlane said it's not an origin story.
Yeah,
he supposedly made that clear. And he had said something about it could be a trilogy. Well, I would just kind of pump the brakes and see how this does first.
How many people have said they're going to do trilogies or universes, like the Monster Universe, and shit fell flat?
Yeah.
Don't get ahead of yourselves, people. Sure. Wait until the first movie happens and see the traction you get. Because people are going to laugh at you. People are going to say, oh, remember that time they said they're going to do this whole universe, this whole trilogy? What happened? Don't get ahead of yourselves. Make your movie, see what happens, go from there. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Because, for me, this whole Spawn thing, I did get excited, because, I love all this stuff. I think it's cool to come out, especially from watching the 90s movie to now. It's going to be 1,000 times better, visually. But if it's anything like Deadpool, if they make it like Deadpool and it's a big hit, it's going to sell well for them. But I know you said how they market it is going to change how people watch it. But how do you market differently from Deadpool? Because Deadpool was funny. Deadpool's out of the box, breaking the fourth wall. Spawn isn't like that.
Sure.
So it's harder to market Spawn than it is Deadpool.
Sure.
Because people love comedy, especially when it's raunchy, and that's what Deadpool is.
Sure.
Spawn's more of that evil demon seed kicking ass. And it's harder for me, in my opinion, to sell that for people than it is to sell Deadpool, because he just sells himself.
It's going to be challenging, for sure. I mean, do you market it as a superhero film? Do you market it as a horror film? When do you release it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've noticed over the past few years, the superhero films were mainly released in the summer. It was a summer blockbuster, and then it started moving into spring and even late winter. March and things like that. I think Deadpool 1 was in February of 2016 or something like that. So it depends on how you market it. You market it as a superhero film or as a horror film, because the generations nowadays they're going to know who Spawn is. That's why I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious to see. I'm not against this movie being based off of these detectives tracking down this figure known as Spawn, and what is he? Who is he? And I think if it goes well and it's a success, then in future films you can introduce. Maybe you could go back and tell the story of Val Simmons and how he became Spawn. But it's going to be interesting, man. I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Well, let us know your thoughts. Are you excited for Spawn? Are you not excited for Spawn? Do you not know who Spawn the hell is?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah,
That's
that's
your
possible.
thoughts. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe. And as always,
Cheers.
hey guys, don't forget to use our promo code ONTOVOR Beeroes. It's BEEROES.
This Aptivore will open up your world to all these different craft beers that you never even knew existed. If you download the app, you may find your next favorite beer that isn't even in your area. It could be from Iowa. It could be from Texas.
Hawaii.
Who knows? Hawaii. Check it out. Check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed.